Bobby likes to shoot, apparently. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, don't go by Bobby's house. Alrighty, so welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. So today we're going to be melting some brass. So these little puppies right here, these are 9mm brass shells. These were made by Ruger. I'm sure there's several different types. Also got some 38s and some 22s I'm going to throw in there as well. Brass melts at anywhere from 500 to 700 degrees hotter than aluminum does. So it's a whole lot more denser. You see how much aluminum is here, and this little piece of brass is a whole lot heavier. So it's a whole lot denser, and the surface tension of brass is not that of aluminum either. So it's going to be an interesting thing. Now, these shells have primers in them still, and from what I understand, and I'm going to double check, there's no misfires or any live rounds or anything in there, but we will be double checking. So the primers actually have, if you'll notice, they're a bright color on some of them versus those. So sometimes they have more zirconium or chromium or something in there to make them not oxidize or anything. So we won't have pure brass out of this, but we will have cleaner brass, because we'll get all the impurities out of the melt during the melting process, which is why I'm melting them. I'm not melting them and pouring straight down an anthill, but I'm going to melt them into ingots, and then when I find a suitable ant nest, I will cast it in the brass, and we'll ship that back off to who gave me this big bag of goodness, which would be Bobby Shields. Bobby likes to shoot, apparently. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, don't go by Bobby's house. Now that we got our fire extinguisher crucible cleaned up, I'm going to let it thermocycle real quick. Not that I need to, but this was what I was talking about, getting the volatiles out of it. So there's probably some magnesium, there's definitely some zinc. I've done seen some white flame, and there's some different chemicals or alloys that's in those primers, and possibly shells. So, but we're gonna get them all out. There's the zinc burning off. There's a lot of dirt. Oops, maybe I should be a little bit safer with this. There we go. I'm a little bit further away. That's safer, right? If you're wondering why I'm not using that nice graphite crucible to melt in, it's because that crucible is too big for that particular furnace. And that is why that is. God, that's heavy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the last time I left you, we were in the middle of pouring brass. And then in my household, lady drama. That's not fitting. Sister drama. No. Bitch drama showed up and screwed everything up. So this is what we actually wound up with because the tank froze up on me. I couldn't melt anymore because I didn't set it in water like I'm supposed to, but hey. It still went a long ways. So I've got these and these. Now, these are sitting to the side by themselves because I think it was a muffin pan. Stupidly, dumbly, whatever you want to call it, I decided to use a muffin pan. Okay. Brass is a substance that's used in brazing. So this thin steel got hot enough and stayed hot enough, long enough, with that molten brass in there to braze itself together. So I've got these little steel cups stuck to the damn thing. So now I got to grind all those off. But I can tell you this. One of these brass ingots weighs as much as one of these. Nope. Two of these. No. 3 of them. Oh, that's the difference in the density. I still have, good God, one more bag of shells to melt down and do. The popping was probably just some leftover residue or whatnot. Maybe, I don't know. It was something. So you've seen some zinc fumes and all that coming from it. These things are dirty. I didn't realize how dirty gun shells were, bullet shells were. But they're pretty daggone dirty. A lot of hell. There you go. Now this I'll remelt down to get the rest of the brass out of it. But a lot of slag, and borax was not fluxing it, and I don't know if potassium chloride was degassing it or not. I put it in there anyhow, just to make sure. But anywho, that's it for this installment. Now that brass, once I finish getting it melted down and get the steel off of it, will be melted back down and poured into an ant nest and sent off to Bobby Shields, because this is his brass. He was kind enough to send it to me. I had forgotten who sent it to me, couldn't remember, and I thought it was Joe over there at Soggy Bottom Forge, and Joe says, no, wasn't me. So Joe actually went through my videos and found where I had a video called Ammo for Ant Casting. I didn't ever even check my videos, but anyhow, that's where it's going, and you'll get to see that beautiful process of all that. So it ought to be interesting, because I don't know how well this brass is going to pour down an ant nest. It cools off and solidifies pretty daggone quick, but it stays hot for a while. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know if my foundry is just not getting hot enough. It's getting hot enough to melt it, but I don't know if it's getting hot enough to get it to a pouring temperature. But we're going to try, and if it doesn't work, we'll dig it up, we'll remelt it, turn it back into ingots, and we'll find another ant nest, and I will rebuild this foundry to be able to run hotter. And yeah, we'll go with that. And I'll actually use an actual graphite mold and graphite crucible. Y'all be well, be safe, love, peace, and mofo chicken grease.